we are rolling. Okay, hello everyone. Oh, I better sit over here. Grand Rising, welcome to the People's Congregation of Shakers and Movers, and we identify as a church. It sounds kind of funny right now with all the identities, but it actually was like a big decision, like how do I identify this business, right? Because at the end of the day, we want to be a charitable, benevolent organization, and at the end of the day, I think church is just the glue of a community, and here in this community, we are encouraging each other to get vulnerable, to try new things, because that's what healing in community has kind of become, for me, as well as calming my central nervous system, which you can tell we've all been running crazy this morning probably. So I'm really looking forward to this today. Welcome everybody that's joining us. We are here today with Matt, our breathwork coach, and also with a few others here in the room. I will be doing my exercises in my breathing off camera. And we ask everybody to grab a pen and a piece of paper if you're just joining, because there is going to be a little exercise today. So Matt, thank you for being here as always, every Tuesday at 11 a.m. We really look forward to this. I really look forward to this. This is my accountability and community building. And yeah, so what are we going to do today, Matt?
Good morning. Well, why don't we, since we all have been running around this morning, why don't we just drop into our nose breath for a moment. Mouth breath, whatever you're feeling. Maybe just let it go as we breathe in to the stomach. And just let it out. And drop into this moment. Drop into your breath. The full sensation of your breath. Drop into just being. Just be right here, right now. And just let go of anything from the external world. Drop into your breath. And just let the body relax. I'm just going to ask you to do your own scan of your body, starting with your head or starting with your feet and working your way all the way up or all the way down, whichever way you begin. And just seek out any tensions. If your jaw is tight or your stomach's a little upset, heart rate may be a little quick, maybe some nervous energy. And anything that you want to release or relax, just breathe into that space. Specifically breathe in, draw the energy in, and on the exhale, release any knots, any tension, any stress within your body. Breathing into the stomach. And if you are just joining us, please do make sure you have paper and pen for today. As we drop into this moment, this time that we have together. And to just be fully present within this space that we are all sharing. And for today, we're going to discuss and write and breathe into the creative life force that's within us. And I just want to start off with a reading for a moment, just to get us into that right mindset. I just really love this quote. It's from Robert Greene. And it really puts it into perspective for me. When we think about creativity. And sometimes what it is or what happens to it as we move into our adult lives. The human mind is naturally creative, constantly looking to make associations and connections between things and ideas. It wants to explore, to discover new aspects of the world, and to invent. To express this creative force is our greatest desire, and the stifling of it, the source of our misery. What kills the creative force is not age or lack of talent, but our own spirit, our own attitude. We become too comfortable with the knowledge we have gained in our apprenticeships. We grow afraid of entertaining new ideas and the effort that this requires. To think more flexibly entails a risk. We could fail and be ridiculed. We prefer to live with the familiar ideas and habits of thinking. But we pay a steep price for this. Our minds go dead from the lack of challenge and novelty. We reach a limit in our field and lose control over our fate because we become replaceable. Just breathe into that for a moment and just let that sink in. And I think the end, the replaceable, is sometimes important too if we're looking at our careers or jobs. You know, sometimes when we're younger, we may feel invincible. And then we, in time can grow stagnant. And the creativity at times can be lost. There are so many different aspects of our lives where we could draw in the creative force that's within us. Our job, our loved ones, our relationships. To be creative, to keep it alive. Keep that spark always lit and ready to ignite. To be creative for ourselves. Keeping all aspects of our journey so alive, so present as we allow for the creative forces to come up with new ideas based on everything we do. I feel like sometimes as we're growing up, or at least when I grew up, there was such a freedom of play and movement. There was really no restrictions on us coming, or not many restrictions coming from adults. And we were just always so creative with everything that we did, with play, being social, what we would do from our day to day, and bringing about, different things each day without even thinking about it. We just naturally did it. And then over time, as we become more conditioned to society, to culture, to what we're taught, it slowly begins to take away that creativity. And we just shift, and many of us move into like almost a robotic type life, the routine. I was even watching someone say goodbye to someone yesterday, a husband and wife, and the I love you and the words that were spoken just seemed almost robotic, as if there was no passion within those words. Is the spark in their relationship, is it still there? Or have they fallen into the routine of just raising the family, the stresses of financial life? And have they fallen into just doing things because you're supposed to, and it's habit, it's routine? Is the love really being shown? Like, I don't doubt that they love each other. But is that love really growing? Is the relationship growing? And as we explore the creative force within us, can we reignite it, refine it, and bring it back to who we are now, and as we step forward? So just sit with this for a moment, and just think about your journey, your life. Is the creative spirit alive in you? I'm just going to ask everyone at this moment, or this time, to slowly kind of wake up their body and kind of return to your surroundings. And just kind of wiggle your fingers, move your feet, shake it out a little bit. And I'm just going to invite you to just to sit up slowly when you're ready. And as you sit up, let's just kind of bring our awareness to our body for a moment. For today, we're going to allow for us to be spoken to and to receive as we do a little bit of free writing. So just to wake up our senses and our awareness, I'm just going to ask you to start shifting your head around, bring your awareness to your head and your neck. do circles or rotate it back, or however you feel you need to stretch out. Maybe just take one hand, pull your head over to one side, jaw on the other hand on the other opposite jaw, and pull the opposite way. So pull opposite. And then just to reverse that, just gently. Maybe shake out, circle your shoulders up. Shake out your hands and your arms. Maybe let the legs go for a moment. And I'll just open this up briefly if there's any discussion or any comments about the creative force within us or the words that I just spoke. If anyone wants to type in anything, you can. I'll check the phone. Sandy, if anyone types in anything on the iPad. But, and if anyone here feels like speaking up, if there's any thoughts or feelings about what I'm talking
Yeah, creativity, it's funny because I think I related a lot to my businesses and how I express myself. But lately, and I think this actually aligns with the astrology report from yesterday, this is going to be the third quarter moon, and the shift that we're having is really going to be a time to sort of return to Venus and home. And home is where the heart is, right? And kind of I've been feeling this, and I actually, didn't make it to yoga this morning because my son was coughing, and I'm like looking around my house, and I'm like, oh no, I needed to be here now, and just honoring, being a little bit more of like a creative mom and a creative wife, in the next, in the short term. I think that's going to be one of my focuses. That was one of my thoughts. I don't know, Matt, do you have anything to add?
To be right, home is where the heart is, and I believe that pot of gold is in me, and I'm finding it through all this different kind of openness to breath and being on camera. And,
Surprise!
Hey everybody! But yeah, my morning was very different than I thought it was going to be, and I got stuff to do, but I knew I needed to be here, and this is perfect. The creativity thing is like that superpower that's taken from us as a kid. You described it perfect. Like I was like, yeah, you brought me back to my neighborhood back in the day. We play Relivio, and then we find something else to do. And I have a very dear friend I just met that we talk about this, that our superpowers were taken from us as kids, and that's what comes to my brain when this whole, this topic.
I actually swear to God, creativity is my superpower. It popped into my head too. I'm not even bullshitting. Until you said that, I was like, oh, creativity is kind of like a superpower. Like that, is within us all. And it is a real bummer when we get stuck in those routines. And like, I've never been not by nature, I'm not a routine person. And now I realize it's because I embrace creativity. And sometimes to be in the flow, you just have to be spontaneous, so I don't brush my teeth the same way every day even,
And I think even what Sandy just said too is so important, because with my line of work, I feel like have been creative my whole life as well, and even if we do feel like we are creative, like, is there any blockages too within that? And I think that's something to dive into too, and that's kind of what we're going to work on today. I'm gonna kind of ask you to write about 3 things, and we're just gonna do 5 minutes of free writing with each question, with a little bit of a break in between, and just fall into our breath. And if there's any questions, I'm just gonna double check, see if anyone typed in any comments or questions or.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Anything.
So this is live, and we don't see the chat because of the podcaster, but people could ask questions after.
Okay. So I'm just going to ask everyone to just fall into your breath for a second. Close your eyes. Fall back into that nice relaxed nose breath. And the first question that we're going to spend some time writing about And what I'm going to invite you to do is to breathe in and just focus on the breath. Just focus on the air, the movement, and just allow for stuff to come up. When we free write, my invitation to you is this. Just let it come up. Don't try and write a complete sentence. It may seem almost as if what you're writing down makes no sense or no fluidity to it. It can be very broken up, very scattered. But at times when we go back and we re-look at this, it makes so much sense to me sometimes. I look back and it almost brings me to tears. And that's the beauty of just allowing for whatever comes into your mind, write it down. Even if it's off topic, just write down whatever you're receiving. Don't try to think. Stay with your breath and whatever is coming up. So what we're going to be, and I'm going to play some music to help entertain it so it's not so silent. And the first thing I would invite you to write about is the creativity within you as a child growing up. How were you creative? What is it about your childhood that was so beautiful and so creative? In play and whatever. 5 minutes. Break, just fall into your breath. If nothing comes, just fall into the breath, let it come naturally. Don't fight with yourself, don't force it. Just let it come. Remember to stay with your breath into the stomach. Try not to hold your breath as you're writing or to lose it. Stay with the breath. Allow for the pauses and allow for it, whatever needs to be revealed. Allow for it to be revealed. Now to come up. one more minute. Go ahead and put your paper and pen down wherever you are. Finish that last thought. And then I'm just going to invite you to close your eyes and just breathe in. And just let this go. Let this question go. Fall back into your breath. And just become fully present. I'm just going to let these thoughts, these emotions that may have come up, just let them go. And just fall back into your being and back into yourself. The next question I'm going to give you about 3 minutes. And then we'll spend a little bit more time on the last one. So just breathe into this for one moment. Just keep your eyes closed. What aspects of your life right now may be lacking creativity? Or where do you need more creativity? Even if we are creative already in some ways, or in some parts of our life. So let's not answer this, but let's just come up with where do we need the creativity in our life today, or to increase it even to a different level. And just keep it that simple, please. And we'll dive in a little bit deeper with this question in a moment. So about 3 minutes. Is there any blockages today? Stuff. Where do we need it? Professionally, personally, or within ourselves? What patterns maybe need to be broken a little bit? Have to do with the words and how we speak. Our pets. About 1 more minute. done, just put the paper and pen down, fall into your breath. And just let everything go from what you just wrote. Fall back into this present moment. Stay with your breath. I'm just looking for a new song. So, the last part here, my invitation to you is this. What can you do, or what can we do to be more creative? What are some of the answers? Maybe bring a little bit more spark into a relationship or a friendship, to ignite something a little bit brighter. Or what can we do with work differently? What can we do now? What aspects of your childhood can we bring back to serve us now? Or is there a new form of creativity that we can discover? So, just get your pen and paper ready, and we'll go for about 5 minutes here. What can we do now? What can we bring into our lives to reignite that creative force that's within us that wants to come out? Let it come out. What are the answers? Make us more alive. Creativity can bring us more into the moments, so that we can enjoy each aspect of our day. To the breath. Remember, just let it come to you. Just let it come. Breathe into our breaks. And even what creativity, just even for ourselves. What do we need for ourselves? Not just all of our situations in the external. We're going to go for about 1 more minute. Just relax into whatever's coming up. Sit with it, breathe with it. Write down anything that comes to mind. Don't fight with it if it's off topic. It might be something you need. I'm going to invite you to finish whatever you're writing and put everything down, and I'll just invite you just to fall into your breath for a moment and just let this whole exercise go. Let everything go. Just let it out, push it out. Maybe do that 3 times. Nice big inhale. Stretch out, move, stand up, shake out. And so the purpose of this was to try and help reignite anything from within that, that to keep our lives more full of joy, more full of joy, and just being present with the moment and really engaging with each different moment and not allowing for one moment to carry into the next moment, or a moment from last night to carry into this moment now, and to focus on that creative force, like what can I do now for each part of my life.
Amen.
Amen. Yeah, no, that was a really great reminder, because I think a lot of the answer is like we already know, like we know what we need to do to achieve, what we know we want. Sometimes figuring out what we want is half of the battle in life, but I think we all want to be creative and we all want to be harmonious. So yeah, I don't necessarily want to share the exact things that I wrote down because they're a little personal. But yeah, I think that journaling in general is just such a great cathartic, way to face yourself, I guess, right?
Well, I think also what you said is also important. Like, not everyone may know what creative forces they need either.
Right.
But even if we do know, either way, sometimes when we put it on paper, it makes it like, and to keep this and to look at it and maybe to make some new plans of how we might integrate this more. And I feel like sometimes when we write stuff down and have something to look at, it keeps it a little bit more authentic and right kind of in our face instead of just in our mindset.
For sure. Writing for me is really good. I don't do much of it, but it's been my message lately. Just a few days ago, my buddy's like, "Did you write about it?" And I'm like, "No, I haven't." Did you try powering the device down and turning it back on, type of thing? But cue the nowness is what I wrote kind of on this thing. It's kind of been like a new thing, just here, and I'm not really good at it. I mean, let's just put that out there. But this stuff is great to help me do that. Say yes, be open.
friend gave me this morning, actually, left it for me at my shop. Oh, it's upside down for you, but it says joy.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and she gave it to me along with this jade necklace. And so, yeah, it was just kind of cool that I feel like having this little emblem left for me by
Yeah.
a magical woman fairy. And then the theme, that was a lot of what I wrote about, was really just finding more joy in the moments, in the now, playing more, right? Like being that kid, like
Color outside of the
being
lines.
color outside the lines and
Yeah.
like getting the heck off the phones and the and being less distracted came up a lot for me just now. Try to be doing one thing at a time.
Oh, and I wrote down, put down the bat too. It was big
Oh.
for me, you know, that I can overthink stuff, woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get rid of that and I just identified it recently as negative self-talk,
Yeah.
you know.
Self-critic, that's been a big theme
That's
here
gonna
too.
be Friday night. Yeah, that'll be
Okay.
Friday night.
Oh yeah,
Everyone's
let's
coming
talk
in.
about that
is
real
the
quick,
topic
Matt.
for Friday night.
So we're getting our integrated recovery practices support group back up and running.
Yeah.
We have, I think, pretty much the rest of the year laid out. I'm gonna slowly start rolling out the events. But really it's just a safe space. It's an alcohol-free event always. It is not other plant-free. You are welcome to bring your cannabis, your kava, your cacao, your coffee, whatever you wanted to share with the rest of the group or just that you might need for support for yourself. But we will come together in circle. We will come together with open hearts and open minds to explore all different modalities for healing. And of course, Matt brings the breath work, and this week is going to be his circle to lead. And so, want to tell us what the theme is?
Yeah, the theme's gonna be, now I just forgot.
Well, the inner critic.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
So the inner critic, which, can tie into what we just did too now. And yeah, we're just gonna explore that inner critic and kinda like what Matt just said as well, like how we speak to ourselves, is a big part of the inner critic when we look at stuff that's coming up within our life. So we're gonna do a full exploration with that. And we're also gonna do some writing, about it like we just did now. And I think the fun part that will come out in this is at the end I'm gonna propose 6 questions. I'm sorry, not 6 questions. 6 characters that we may see in life,
Okay.
and some of them might be a little bit out there. Sandy already knows what they are. So, and then we're just gonna act out an inner critic, and it can be an inner critic within yourself, or you can just make one up too. And we're gonna bring in this aspect of it because it kind of does bring in a little bit of play. It brings in a little bit of creativity, and then to really explore how we may be as an inner critic. And sometimes to do it with this, we're doing either pairs or depending on how many people here or small groups. And just have a little bit of fun with it. Laugh at ourselves, laugh at each other for the character that we may pick.
Thanks.
Awesome.
And then,
Love it.
because we're going to tie in acting out that character with the self-critic. And I think that's where the humor is going to come in a little bit and make it a little bit more light-hearted for such a difficult topic. So, yeah.
A little
Yeah,
role
perfect.
playing
A little
coming
role
into
playing
you
for
this
sure, yeah.
Friday. That sounds
So we're going to have a
really
little bit
fun.
of fun. It's gonna
I
be
love
good.
that. That sounds awesome, Matt. Yeah, that'll be a nice change of pace. And again, we're open to suggestions. Sign up for our newsletter, pcsam.org. All of our services and programming are brought to you by our members.
Yeah.
Like Matt and Matt. So again, we thank you guys for your support. We're gonna do our best to stream as much of this content now on YouTube and on Instagram. We probably do have to be careful about copyrighted music, so I'm happy that you switched to the wave sounds at the end
Oh.
there. Yes, that's
Didn't
one thing
think
we
about
do
that.
have to be careful of, so in the future,
Okay.
but that was where relevant, we had a little bit more leniency,
Okay.
but I think we're gonna have a little bit more reach here on YouTube and on
Well, I
Instagram.
can give credit to the artist for
Yes,
that
we'll
first
make-
song. So let me do that.
Yeah,
Because the artist is super beautiful, and I actually just discovered them today, actually. So that song was Through the Maze by a band called Sleeping Pandora.
well, cool, well, hopefully
And,
that's a
that was
little-
actually a really beautiful song.
It was
I
a
thought.
beautiful song,
Yeah.
but that is something we'll have to be mindful of.
Yeah.
But again, tell all your friends, follow us here. It's a way to connect during the winter when
Yeah.
people just aren't going to want to get out of bed. Even sometimes I might be doing this from my bed, and Matt might be
Yeah.
in his bed. You never know. But come as you are, whether here or whether online, and you can always reach out to Matt and contact him through our website, or you can find him at Central Rock Climbing Gym. If you want to get some, because exercise and physical movement, I think, is also really big for stimulating creativity. And Matt also does a lot of guided hikes and one-on-one breath work. So you can always contact him through DMing us on the church page or leaving a comment in the comments down below. So yeah, I think that's about it. We're located at 63 Washington Street. We'll be here this Friday night again at 7:30 p.m. For Matt's fun, interactive, new breathwork / acting extravaganza.
Can't wait.
We're gonna have fun.
But it has a lot to do with the church mentality, and what we do say here is that be careful what you say, because your words cast spells. Be careful what you think, because your thoughts even have a vibration and have the power to shape matter and change the future. So that's my 2 cents. We good?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right.
Love
Thank
it
you
all.
everybody for joining
See you
us.
soon.
Over now.
Peace.